So what we're talking about today is the golden rule, really. And what I mean by really is I think if we dig down deep, we know what it is, but I think living it out is one, hard, and two, it's a game-changing type of rule. So we're going to look at the rule, its implications, and what it means for our lives. We're going to start with a pop quiz. What is the golden rule?
You would have them do unto you.
So many different answers. Fascinating. Do unto others, right? And oftentimes when I ask people, just say that, do unto others, which can have a lot of meaning, right? There's all kinds of things we could do unto others. We don't want them to do back to us. What it says is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Here it is in all of its golden glory. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And I love that unto part. It's very King James, but it totally works for me. Now the challenge with this rule is I think, again, deep down we know it, but living it out, it shows up a little bit differently. So we're going to go through, bless you, are all the versions of some other rule, I don't know what we call this, that many of us live out, starting with this one. Do unto others as others have done unto you. And I think if we're honest, this is the rule we're living out, right? Well, so-and-so did it to me, so I did it back. So-and-so didn't invite me to their thing, so I'm not inviting them to my thing. And if we think about it, when we see kids do this, right? Why'd you hit her? Well, because she hit me first. And we as all the grown adults say, oh, you shouldn't do that. There's a completely other way to do this. Jesus said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I picture kids looking at us like, really? That's what you're doing? But the reality is we all fall into this tendency. Others did it to me, so that's what I'm going to do back to them. And that's not the golden rule. The golden rule is way more powerful and way more life-changing and game-changing. It's do unto others as you would have them do unto you, regardless of what they just did to you. How about this version of whatever rule? Do unto others as your parents. Whoa, what is going on? All kinds of things going perfectly today. Do unto others what your parents have done unto you. I see this all the time, particularly in counseling situations. People just act a certain way, and if you dig deep and try to figure out where this comes from, you find out they're doing this because that's what they're used to. They were raised in an environment where that was the thing that was done. I am a very competitive individual. Why? Because I was raised in a highly competitive environment. And it wasn't until I was an adult I was like, maybe I should work on that. Maybe I should get some help with that. Maybe I should try to do unto others, but I would have them do unto you. How about this version of the rule? Do unto others what your ex has done unto you. Ex-spouse, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-friend, whatever it is, so-and-so did it to me, so that's what I'm going to do to everyone else. That's not the golden rule. The golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, regardless of what anyone has done to you. How about this version of the golden rule? Do unto others what their kid has done unto your kid. That was like on cue. Good job. As a parent, I so relate to this one, right? Like the mama bear phenomenon, it's real. The papa bear phenomenon is real. If you mess with my kid, you get the horns, right? Not the golden rule. Not at all the golden rule. Regardless of what how people treat you or those around you, Jesus said, I want you to do unto them as you would have them do unto you. How about this version of the rule we live out? Do unto others as you've told them to do to you. Like just telling them works, right? That's not the rule. He said, I want you to do. Don't worry about the telling part. I want you to worry about the doing part. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. They're going to follow your actions before they follow what you say. And yes, I recognize the irony of standing up in front of you and telling you this. Okay? What we all need to be doing is to living this out, to be actually doing it. How about this? This is my favorite version. Do unto others unless you don't like what they posted on social media. That's what we really do, right? Do you guys remember back in the day before we had social media? And you had friends that would say stupid things and you didn't unfriend them? Yeah. All of my friends, every single one of them has said or done something stupid and they're still my friends. Now, we have social media and we see what someone posts online, we're like, wow, I can't believe they said that. I can't believe they did that. Well, people have been saying dumb things forever. We didn't unfriend them, we just kept them our friends, right? But the reality is none of that changes the way we should be treating them. The rule is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Here it is in all of its golden glory. And where did it come from? Where all these good things come from? Jesus. Matthew 7:12, he said, in everything, do to others as you would have them do to you. And that's the part we memorize. That's the part we put on the walls in the children's ministry and the classrooms. But we forget that latter part that Jesus said next. For this is the law and the prophets. This is huge, you guys. This is why I'm fascinated. I've literally never heard a sermon in my life on the golden rule. And Jesus Christ said, if you want one rule that's a summation of all of the law, if you want one rule that's a summation of all the prophets, all those powerful prophetic books, if you want one rule, do this. In every single thing, do to other people what you would have them do to you. This is the law and the prophets. If you're looking for one verse to put on the mirror to memorize and live out, it's the golden one that Jesus gave us. That's where that term golden rule came from. Scholars think in the 16th to the 17th century, some folks said, hey, if Jesus said this rule is the law and the prophets, we're going to go with golden. And this is the rule we should all be called to live out. I want you to notice one thing. It says in everything. Okay? Do to others as you have them do. It does not say some things. It does not say when it's convenient. It does not say do it when that person's only offended you once. It says in every single thing, do to others as you have them do to you. This is the law and the prophets. Now, what does this mean? There's two big parts of this I want to focus on this morning. And the first part is that first word. We are doers. We're doers. We're called not to say unto others what we would have them say, but actually do it. People learn from our doing. God created a bunch of doers. Not just a bunch of talkers, a bunch of doers. If you want to go teach this stuff, if you want to go change the world, do it one action at a time. Our words are not enough. I think the world pictures a whole bunch of Christians, and they care far less about what we're doing in here on Sunday morning, and they care far more about what we're doing on Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They want to see, what are you doing? It's not enough for what we say anymore. They're watching closely to see what we do. They're watching closely. And we can show them some super awesome stuff that we all learned from our God. Now, the second part I want to focus in on this is we are initiators. We're starters. This is exciting stuff. This means literally we can go out into the world and we can change the way it operates just by doing it differently. And by the way, we're not called to follow and wait for someone else to do it first. He said, do unto others, you would have them do unto you. Meaning, the doing is up to us, and then he's going to take care of the rest. He says, I want you to go out, I want you to initiate, and I want you to change, and then see what happens. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We follow God only. That's it. No one else in the world. You want to change it? Go change it. We have the ability to do that. When I was a kid, I got to do a really long report on a historical figure, and I chose Mahatma Gandhi. A lot of respect for him. I say this not in a religious sense, but in the sense of just who he was and what he did. And he has a famous quote you might have heard that's similar to the Golden Rule. It's not as good, but it's a similar idea. And he said, be the change you wish to see in the world. If you look around you and you see some stuff that's not going well, anyone relate? Yes. Go change it. Don't complain about it. Don't even need to talk about it. Just go do it. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Now, the reason God calls us to do this is because God is the initiator. Like, he is the starter. He is the creator. I love the idea of God as the creator. That literally all of this stuff, all of this life, all of this earth, all of these things started with one, and he was God, and he was in charge, and he's still in charge. He's still watching over everything. He started everything. And if I were God, I would be so tired after starting all the stuff that God has had to start. But he's not. He's stuck with us forever. He's created all of this stuff. And then when he created us, you know what he said? He says, I'm creating you in my image. Which means that every single one of us were created in the image of a very creative God. Which is exciting news. That means we should go create. If we're created in the image of God who just does new things, that means we're called to go out into the world and do new things.
Amen.
Not because we can, not because we're trying to create a bunch of mini versions of us, but because God can. We've read His Word, we're spending time in prayer, the Spirit guides us. And we can go out into the world and create different things just by doing them. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There's an old Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. It's kind of the same idea with respect to friendship. The only way to have a friend is to be one. There was a time in life, I remember relating to this. I actually think it was my mother who reminded me of this idea. I just felt like I didn't have enough friends. I needed that reminder that, hey, if you don't feel like you have enough friends, maybe it's because you need to reach out and be a better friend. But for whatever reason, people tend to get in this tendency of kind of putting ourselves on these emotional islands. And then we're surprised when we look around and we notice that no one else is there. And the reason no one else is there is because we've invited them in. And so if you're looking for more friends, be more of a friend. You feel like you're not getting enough phone calls? Pick up the phone and call someone. Not getting enough text messages, instant messages, emails, whatever it is. That means we're called to reach out and start it. We're not called to sit around and wait for other people to start it. We're initiators, we're starters, we're game changers. And that includes most certainly our friendship. Did you know that you're models? Your pastor told you you are models. When you leave here and ask, what'd you learn at church? You can say, I was told I was a model. Because you are. And it's not just the way we look, right? It's what we do. We are behavioral models.
Amen.
Jesus said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Monkey see, monkey do. Right? As people see what we do, people are going to do it, just like we've always done with God. And so he says, go into the world. If you want to see things different, do it different. And people will notice that. They're going to notice your changes in behavior. The cool part about this is that means that literally we can help change the world. I'm sorry, that is thrilling to me. For me, the craziest part of God's plan, it's us.
Amen.
That literally he said, I'm going to create a bunch of people. I know they're going to let me down. And I'm going to love them anyway, and I'm going to use them anyway. How are we going to do it? We're going to do unto others as we want them to do unto us. And God said, of course, I'm going to have to start it. And he started by initiating and showing us what to do from the very, very start. So, this means if you want to experience more love in the world, what does the golden rule say you need to do? Love, exactly. Love first. Who doesn't want to see more love in the world? He says, if you want to see more love, you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to start it. If you want to go into the world, you want to teach forgiveness. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're just not feeling the forgiveness. What do you need to do according to the golden rule? Forgive first. We got to show what it looks like, right? We've got to let it go. And then maybe, they will do the same. Now, if you think about this as common sense, right? How'd you guys learn how to eat? You guys all eat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we all learn to eat by watching someone else eat, right? How'd you learn how to talk? You saw a bunch of other people around you talking. How did you learn how to walk? Yeah, you're presumably sitting down on your diaper, you're crawling around on 4 legs, you see someone else who's doing it on 2, you're like, hey, that looks easier, I'm going to try that. Right? We see other people do it. So, if we know that all of those things are true, why is it that we expect love to be any different than that? It's not. If everyone learns by seeing someone else do it, the reality is you might be in the life of someone who isn't particularly loving. Have you considered that maybe the reason that they are like that is their background doesn't have a lot of love in it? Maybe there's not a lot of love in the household now, maybe there wasn't a lot of love in the household as a kid. Maybe God has directed you to them and says, I need you to show them what love looks like. And the only reason you know it, of course, is God, is because I've shown that same love to you.
Amen.
It works the same as all those other things. And I think our world is crying out for us to initiate love. And when I say love, I mean real deal, selfless, Christ-like love. Not that love is acceptance nonsense that the world is currently selling. Love is way deeper than that. Love has nothing to do with acceptance. Love transcends acceptance. The love of Christ is, I love you, period. No matter what. And Jesus took care of that sin no more stuff later, right? But he started always with love. Regardless of what someone does, you always show them love. And if we know that, we get a chance to remind the world what that looks like. I think they're crying out for us to initiate forgiveness. We love to jump on people, whether it's celebrities or politicians or each other, just love to jump on them. And Jesus said, I want you to go, I want you to forgive everyone. And he's already done it. And we get a chance to go into the world and to do unto others who have them do unto us. And that includes things like forgiveness. It includes things like mercy. I think the world needs a lot more mercy. Mercy being judgment is deserved, judgment isn't given. Mercy that looks like Jesus Christ going to the cross for you and for me. And in that world of judgment and jumping on people, because you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose to forgive. I'm going to choose to show mercy and let this go. Why? Because my God did that for me. I think the world is crying out for us to initiate truth. Just to tell the truth all the time. Imagine if Christians were known not just for their love, but for their truth. People said, I know they're Christians. When they say it, they do it. When they say it, it is true. And when they don't know, they just don't say it at all. Imagine that. If we literally initiate what it would look like to tell the truth all the time in the world. What would it look like if we went out and we initiated justice in the world? We go out and we see this world. I mean, it is not hard. We don't have to look far to see injustice all over the world. Just turn on the news, watch the news, look at the news on your phone for 2 minutes, and you will see rampant injustice in the world. God's plan, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you see injustice and you see the scales are tipped, tip it back. We get to go do this. This is exciting stuff that we get to do. So let's do it. Literally, the only thing between us and changing the world is us following this rule. To go out and literally change the world to make it look more like we want it to look, not by talking about it, but just simply by doing it. Now, one of the biggest obstacles, I think, to us living this out are our expectations. I remember I learned this lesson the hard way 15 years ago. I was sitting talking to a counselor. You guys will notice after hanging out with me, I talk a lot about counselors. I have a lot of respect for counselors. I've gone to Christian counseling both as a single man, as a married man. I have friends of mine who were counselors. About 15 years ago, I was talking to one of them. And she was the Long Beach Police Department psychologist. So no joke type of job. We were talking, sharing all kinds of issues and things that we saw in the world that we were frustrated about, that we were really excited about. I was probably a little bit excited and probably a little bit soapboxing when she looked at me and she said, you know that not everyone in the world thinks like you, right? And I cocked my head, I said, really? And it's exactly what I needed to hear. Because the reality is most of us do. We look out into the world and we expect everyone operates just like us. I have news for you. No one thinks like you. Literally, no one at all thinks just like you. Think about it. When God created us, He created a bunch of individuals. He created currently 7.6 billion individuals with different handprints, different thumbprints, different mind prints, and then ready for this? He gave us each to different parents who raised us in different homes, in different locations around the globe, and then ready for this? He gave us a lifetime of different experiences. And we look at the person across and say, you don't think just like me? Of course they don't. And God knew what He was doing. He says, I don't want everyone to be just like you. I created just one you. And that just one you has one rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If we want people to get on the same page as us, because of course we want general standards, we want people to be following the Word of God. We want things like love and truth and justice and forgiveness. He says, if you want to show them that, if you want to get them on your page, you need to do it. It's that simple. You just need to go out into the world and you want to do the things that you want to see in the world. It's not enough to say it. You've got to go out and do it. And God's been doing this since the beginning. 1 John 4:19. We love because He first loved us. We talked about this before, that when God created everything, He had choices not just on what we look like and what the animals look like and what the earth looked like. He created themes and ideas, and he created love. And then I picture God, he's like, all right, I got to teach these people love. How am I going to do it? Well, it's obvious. I'm going to have to show it to them. If I want Adam to love Eve, I love Adam. And if I want them to love their kids, I gotta love them. And even as it went down the line, we all made the mistakes every single human has ever made, God has continued to love. We love because he first loved us. God has always been leading in this way. Think about it. How did God's people escape Egypt? How did they get out? Because God went ahead of them. Exodus 13, 17, 18, when Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near, for God thought if the people faced war, they may change their minds to return to Egypt. So God led the people by the roundabout way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea. God's like, if they go one way, they might freak out. So I'm going to lead them a totally different way. God was ahead of them. He led them. God has always been doing it. God has been living the golden rule out since the beginning. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So I'm going to go first. He didn't just give them directions, right? He actually went ahead of them. Think about it. How did Moses know how to get to the promised land? How do you know where to go? God literally went ahead of Moses. God led the leader. Exodus 13, 21 and 22, the Lord went in front of them in a pillar of cloud by day to lead them along the way, and a pillar of fire by night to give them light, so that they might travel by day and by night. Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place in front of the people. This is the old-fashioned GPS, right? God positions. I am so grateful for the GPS that's in my car. You guys will, if you ever see me driving, if you ever see my car, you're going to notice the GPS that's posted in that front window that I have to use like all the time. So true story, just this past week, I pulled into a parking lot, went into the store. I was in the store for less than 10 minutes, and I'd never been to the store before. I walked out of that store, I got in my car, and I went to pull out of the parking lot into the street, and I couldn't remember whether to go right or left. True story, I am directionally dysfunctional. I love my GPS, particularly living in a new place. I need this thing to know where to go. Now, God has given each and every one of us an internal GPS that looks like His Spirit. He says, if you want to know where to go, you just ask me. And I wish sometimes I could see that pillar of cloud and that pillar of fire. But God leads in other ways too. And He nudges and He whispers and He uses other people. We've got this GPS, and if we'll just ask what to do. Says, you do that, and then other people may or may not follow. Jesus did this too, right? It wasn't just God. How do the disciples know how to disciple? He showed them. Jesus went ahead of them, right? It says in Matthew 4:18, what is going on? As he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who's called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, follow me, and I'll make you fish for people. It fascinates me that Jesus didn't have them sit down and hold a class. Right? Like, literally, he said, if you want to learn how to do this, I know I'm going to have to go ahead of you, and I'm going to have you lead and just follow me every step of the way. And we live in this age now with churches, like, it's hard for people to show up at a class for 8 weeks, and Jesus had them follow for 3 years. 3 years. So the only way I'm going to teach these people how to fish for people is just to have them do it with me. He's always been doing this. Of course, He's calling us to do this too. How about this one? How did the prodigal son know he could come home? Because he knew that love was at home. Look at Luke 15:20. So he set off and went to his father. But while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. He knew he could come home because he knew love was there. His father, the celebratory father, ran to him and said, you are safe here. You are loved here. And if you were in that service yesterday, one of Denise's daughters shared the incredible story That daughter, at one point in her life, had wandered off. And as part of doing that, had done some hurt and done some damage. And she said, I knew I could come home. And she knew when she came home, she experienced the radical love from Denise, that Denise learned from her God. And she goes, I knew love in that moment, because I saw it in my mom. The prodigal had come home, and she knew she could come home because she knew that that love was at home. God leads with that love, and so he's called us to do the exact same thing. Make people know that they can come home, that it's safe there. So, if we're not sure how to lead, if we find ourselves in that position, we pulled out of the story, we don't know which way to go, we know that we've got a spirit that we can call on to tell us how to lead. What do we do in a situation so others do it too? We can say, hey, Holy Spirit, what do you want me to do? Even before Jesus came, Psalm 143:10 says, teach me to do your will, for you're my God. Let your good spirit lead me on a level path. That spirit is always there. He's here right now. All we have to do is stop long and say, all right, God, what do you want me to do? It's just pause and ask him what to do. And then maybe wait before doing it. Give him a chance to respond. The reality is God's already had this. Always. That situation that you're stressed out about what's going to happen, God knows exactly what's going to happen. Like, exactly. You're trying to figure out how to get someone to do one certain thing. God literally knows whether they're going to do it or not. He has already been there. Deuteronomy 31:8 says, it is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. God's like, don't be afraid. I'm here. I'm watching. I'm just saying, do this. Just come. Just keep coming. Just keep coming. Just keep coming. He is all we have to worry about. Because the reality is, if God's ahead of us, we do not have to worry about who's behind us. Like, at all. Okay? I know that's stressful at times. If you guys have ever been driving and had someone follow you, you know how much fun that is? Right? It's like, man, they back there, they're too close, they're too far. God's like, don't do that. Just follow me. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The golden rule is not do unto others, and they will do it too. There's no guarantee. He says, I just want you to do it. Just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And maybe they do it, maybe they don't. Don't worry about that. Just look at me. Just keep your eyes on me. As you're stepping out of the boat, just look at me. Don't worry about who's back there. Just keep going. Just keep doing it. And if you're looking for a way to do this, here's a foolproof. Lead with love. God has always led this way. Always. Moses led this way. I love the example of Moses. Because Moses had some successes as a leader, and he had his frustrations as a leader. Moses, who literally at one point was so tired of the grumbling and complaining of the people he was leading, he said, God, take my life. I'm done. I'm tired. And I pictured God like looking at Moses saying, tell me about it. I've been leading you and all of these people mumbling and grumbling and complaining the whole time, but you know what? I still love you. So keep leading, Moses. And he did. And God never stopped loving. And Moses kept leading. We're called to do the exact same thing. One golden rule at a time. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for being a doer. You are the first doer, the first starter, the first creator, the initiator. And then you made us. And we said, do likewise. God, I pray that we'll do that. More doing, less talking. And God, I pray that we will be inspired and encouraged this morning to literally go out and help you change this world by doing it differently. I pray, God, that you would use us to initiate love. Use us to initiate forgiveness. Use us to initiate mercy. Use us to initiate truth. Use us to initiate justice. Use us to initiate service. Use us to initiate mission. May we be doers and starters. And as we go and as we do, may we give you all the credit and glory. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.